Yo, what is up, guys? Earl Gaming YT come back with another video today, and we're going to be hopping into something different. We are going to be filling out our March Madness bracket. Obviously, this is probably not going to be my final draft of bracket, but this is going to be my first fill out bracket, whatever. And I'm going to be going through and picking who I think will win. So let's get right into it. First of all, my favorite teams are Syracuse and North Carolina. So I may have a little bit of bias there, but that's just me. But first we got Virginia. They're a 1 seed. Creighton, they're just too much for Kansas State, I think. And then Kentucky and Arizona. Those two teams are way too much for Davidson and Buffalo. Now Loyola and Miami could be a very interesting matchup. Miami, it stumbled its way to the tournament, but I think it can still get the win against Loyola. Tennessee, they just came off runner-up for the SEC tournament, so I don't see them losing to Wright State in the first round. Texas, I just like picking 10 seeds for some reason. You'll see that probably. And then Cincinnati. Over to the West region, we have Xavier. FSU, because I'm more of a ACC, especially if it's like an 8-9 matchup, I'll usually pick ACC. Ohio State, they really struggled, but I think they can still pull off against South Dakota State. And then Gonzaga over UNCG. Houston versus San Diego State can be a very interesting matchup. Eventually, do I think I might pick San Diego State? Maybe. But right now, I have Houston winning that game. And Michigan. There. Providence, they almost beat Villanova in the Big East Championship game. You can't go against them. They're actually a team to watch out for, especially North Carolina, going up against them in the second round. Villanova, that's an easy pick. They're the number 1 seed. Alabama, they just came off of a really nice win against Auburn in the SEC tournament. They did end up losing to, I want to say, Kentucky in the next round after that. Murray State, because there's always a 12 over 5, and I think it's this one right here. Wichita State will go up against Murray State. Then we have Florida beating the winner of St. Bonaventure and UCLA, which I think will be St. Bonaventure. Oh, and what was it? I think that one's NC Central. But not like that it matters. But later in the bracket, I think it will. Texas Tech and SFA. Bold prediction here. Down goes Texas Tech. I predicted SFA a couple years ago, and it ended up paying off. So I could not go against them this year. Butler, they should have been a much higher ranked seed. They played really well in the Big East. And then Purdue, they went really strong in the beginning of the season. So now, I've heard a bunch of people say that Penn could be the one team to be a 16 over a 1. I don't think so. NC State, they beat UNC, Duke. There was one other team they beat that was a really huge win for them. But Clemson and New Mexico State, I do not trust Clemson for anything. Auburn, they struggled in the SEC tournament, but I think they're going to go really far. You'll see. TCU, and I predict Syracuse will win that matchup, and Syracuse will move on to the next round. There's going to be my Cinderella team, by the way. Michigan State will win that. Oklahoma and Duke, I really want Iona to win that, but I just don't think they will. Virginia, obviously. Then we got Kentucky defeating Arizona because Kentucky's playing amazing. They won the SEC. So next we got Tennessee over Miami. Miami really struggled against top 25 teams this year, so I don't really see them going that far. And then Cincinnati, even though Texas has a pretty decent chance at knocking out Cincinnati really shouldn't have been a 2 seed. They should have been more of a 4, but I'm not part of the committee. Xavier versus FSU. Xavier, you can't really go wrong with a 1 versus 9 matchup. Gonzaga will win against Ohio State, just because Ohio State's not playing good enough to beat Gonzaga. Houston and Michigan. I gotta go Michigan. I gotta go North Carolina. I know it's kind of boring. I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that round, but that's just what's gonna happen. Then we get Villanova, Wichita State. Now SFA does not make it past Florida because they're just not that good of a team, and then Purdue will knock off Butler. Next, we got Kansas, and then they'll go up against Auburn. And here is a really, really bold prediction. Syracuse, a very, very good road team. They struggled at the Dome this year, but you saw them 2 years ago. They barely squeaked in the tournament, made the Final Four. So I think they're a very good tournament team. And then another bold prediction, Trae Young and Oklahoma get the upset against Duke. Virginia will knock off Kentucky. Tennessee will knock off Cincinnati. And we got Virginia versus Tennessee in the Elite Eight for that. Then we got our first number one seed getting knocked out here. Gonzaga will knock out Xavier, and they will go up against the North Carolina Tar Heels in the Elite Eight. Villanova versus Wichita State. Villanova is just going to be able to win that game, along with the 2 seed Purdue. Now, this is going to be interesting down here. I got a couple upsets. Auburn is going to knock off Kansas. Yes. And the Syracuse Orange, I know it's a little biased, will knock off Oklahoma in the Sweet 16. Now we go to the Elite 8. I got Virginia winning this. I don't see anyone stopping Virginia, honestly. And we got North Carolina in the Final Four, 2 ACC teams. Then we got the Purdue Boilermakers making it to the Final Four, beating Villanova. And then we got Auburn knocking off Syracuse in the Elite 8. And then in the Final Four for a trip to the championship, rematch of the ACC championship, and it stays the same. Virginia knocks off the North Carolina Tar Heels. And then over here, Auburn will beat Purdue. Now in the championship, I have to have Virginia. I don't see them coming close. And Virginia being a very good team, I predict 62 to 50. I can't type 56. That is my bracket. I got the Virginia Cavaliers winning it all. Let me know who you guys have in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.